Hi guys. Today, I'm going to explain a Korean action crime film released in 2014, called The Con Artists. The leader of a criminal enterprise blackmails a con artist of extraordinary skill into pulling off a theft in the amount of $150 million. However, that does not go as expected. Is he going to have enough time to get everything done? Let's find out together. A man is breaking into the headquarters of a company. While the guards are trying to figure out why the power went out, he sneaks off to try to break into a safe. After searching the whole building carefully, they find that the CEO's safe has been broken into. The infiltrate gets away with a valuable relic, thanks to his parkour skills and some James Bond tricks. This operative's name is Lee, and he is a master con artist and safecracker. He works with someone named Koo. They check on the stolen items as soon as they can, but the fragile relic has been broken into pieces. Lee decides not to fix it, but instead to break it and make a new fake one. This made Koo very confused. But it looks like Lee, who is very smart, already has a plan. For a chance to make money, they take it to a well-known expert on selling priceless artifacts. The authenticator knows right away that it is fake, of course. Lee knows, though, that this expert sometimes deals with fake artifacts and tries to make a deal by jokingly implying that he could blackmail him. Lee's persuasion wins out, and he agrees in the end. In another part of the city, someone is following the mob boss's accountant. Before he could get to the police, the mob boss's men stopped him. Chairman Joe is the name of the leader. He is a violent gangster who is wanted by the police. The accountant tried to sell him to the government, but Chairman Joe stopped him by burying him. Now that Lee is done with his last theft, he is trying to make fake money. The color, consistency, concentration, and durability of the ink are all good, but alcohol will quickly remove it. Even a genius will give up when he or she has tried as hard as they can. Meanwhile, Yoon-ha and the owner of the art gallery are talking about a possible investor somewhere in the gallery. Yoon-ha wants to avoid the suspicious investor. She is an expert on beauty and art, and she is in charge of putting on the art show. But the gallery owner convinces her to take it because the investor just wants to show a picture of his ideal woman in exchange for $1 million. They want to meet the investor first, who turns out to be Lee. Yoon-ha is surprised by how much she looks like the perfect wife he imagines for himself. This makes her feel a little shy. What does Lee have in mind? In the end, they accept Lee as a member of the team. Lee tells Koo on the way back home that the investment is part of a bigger plan. But for the plan to work, they need someone who can hack. So, Koo goes to see Jong, a friend who is also a very good hacker. The three of them then talk about it at a bar. Even though it's possible that Jong has betrayed other partners in the past, Lee still wants to work with him. Then, they need a place to hide. After which Koo decides to talk to Turbo, another friend they both know. Turbo gives them a secret hiding place in a good place and helps them do tough stuff. First, Turbo is unhappy with the amount of deal he gets. On the other hand, Lee's persuasive words were easy to get him to change his mind. The first thing they're going to do is check out the jewelry district. After they have enough information, they talk about the idea in their hiding place and get some tools ready. But before they can carry out the plan, they need to check out one of the VIP rooms in the jewelry store and learn more about it. The next day, he meets with Yoon-ha to talk more about the investment. Lee starts asking her suggestive questions about what he can get out of the deal. This makes Yoon-ha thinks Lee wants a lot more than just a business relationship. When she sees Lee looking at her chest, she decides to confront him. Lee says he's sorry and that what she's wearing has caught his eye. It was a gift from her late father, but she had no idea it was so important. Lee then asks her to go to one of the jewelry stores to check out the necklace. The stone in the necklace has been found to be a very valuable collectible. The clerk at the store lets them into the VIP, which is just what Lee needs for his big plan. But Lee says no and tells the store clerk that he and his friend will come back later after Lee has put a suspicious bag under a chair. Then, they go to a nearby jewelry store and get the same answer from the worker there. They go into the VIP room this time. So, Lee can look around the VIP area without being observed. Chairman Joe is also getting ready to plan a theft of his own. He needs a professional who knows how to break into safes, but he doesn't have one right now. So, he tells his right-hand man to start looking for all of the well-known safecrackers and see if they are good enough for the job. His men start to kidnap all well-known people who break into safes. In this method, each candidate goes through a series of tests, and the ones who don't pass are thrown out. But none of them have the ability he needs. Now that Lee's plan is set, his team moves forward with putting it into action. Koo acts like he's drunk to set off the alarm at the first jewelry store. The luggage that Lee had hidden earlier starts a fire, which keeps the police busy while they rob the second place. After Jong turns off the cameras and sensors, it's easy for them to get into the VIP area. So, they were able to trick the police and rob the jewelry store. Chairman Joe owns the store they steal from, but they don't know that. He isn't too worried about the theft because he has found the right person for the job. Turbo rushes to a stolen goods dealer to sell the diamond, but Chairman Joe has sent men to all of the sellers in town to find out who the thief is. His men go after Turbo and get a picture of the team. Chairman Joe and his men go to Lee's hideout after running a background check. Lee arrives at night and feels like something is wrong. He walks in with a pipe in his hand. But they are more than him. Chairman Joe talks about himself and tells Lee that he wants Lee to work for him. But he turns down the offer for whatever reason. This makes Chairman Joe have to take them away and keep them as prisoners. Chairman Joe asks again after a few days. He tells them that $150 million is at stake in the theft. He also made them feel scared by showing them pictures of Koo's sister, Jong's father, and Yoon-ha, whom they thought was Lee's girlfriend. If they agree, he'll forget about the diamond they stole and give each of them 5% of the money they made. Lee decides to take up the offer after giving it some thought. It turns out that Lee missed a lot of calls from Yoon-ha while he was in prison. At the same time, the police start to find some clues about the robbery. CCTV footage shows that Lee is holding the bag that caused the fire. The next day, they begin to talk about Chairman Joe's heist. Their goal is Incheon Customs, which is the first place where goods come into or leave Korea. It has the toughest security system in Asia to keep bad things from getting in. It looks like some corrupt politicians have hidden $150 million in slush money at Incheon Customs. Chairman Joe is in charge of a paper business that sends food coupons out of Incheon Customs. Since it's hard to get 3 tons of money out of customs in such a short amount of time, they plan to get the money by swapping it for a food coupon and hiding it. The robbery team starts to get ready. Chairman Joe calls Jong out of the blue and gives him a bunch of cash. When he finds Lee and Koo's robbery tape on his phone, he finds out that Jong is a sneaky person. He wants to use it to his advantage, so he tells him to watch Lee and Koo while they are not looking. Lee, on the other hand, is having a soju on the roof by himself. He thinks back to when he and his late mentor went out for drinks. His teacher, Mr. O, was also a great con artist. Then, for whatever reason, he calls Yoon-ha to say he's sorry he missed her call. The next day, he goes for a walk with Yoon-ha and talks with her about a project the gallery is going to do in Abu Dhabi. But all of a sudden, the police stop them. They bring Lee in to question him. After hours of questioning, there's no proof that he's guilty, so they let him go. He finally picks up the phone to call Yoon-ha, but she doesn't answer. So he stopped trying to get in touch with her for now. Lee calls Chairman Joe in the morning, so he comes to Lee's house. Chairman Joe notices that some police are in the lobby without being seen. So he uses the stairs to go back and tells his right-hand man to go get Lee. Before running away, they get rid of all traces of their plan. When the police find out that Chairman Joe, who is wanted, is at Lee's house, they break down his door. But they don't find anything inside until one of them finds a hidden room with a plan to steal. Why did Lee leave behind these pieces of evidence? Jong and Koo go to the port in disguise a day before the heist to set up a distraction bomb and the hacking equipment. In the evening, Lee tells Koo that he has found a way to trick Chairman Joe by changing the export address of the paper company to him. Jong hears what is being said and tells Chairman Joe what he has heard. He still needed Lee to open the safe, though, so he let him do it for now. He also learns how he is connected to the famous Mr. O. Lee goes to meet Yoon-ha before the theft. But it looks like she is avoiding him. This makes him want to tell her how he was with his late father. It turns out that Yoon-ha is the great Mr. O's daughter. Chairman Joe's man killed him on the same day that Lee had a drink with him. He tells her that he had planned this from the beginning to get back at him. Lee tells her to hide until the job is done, but Yoon-ha is too stubborn to listen. Maybe he thinks Lee has let him down. Not long after that, she is taken by Chairman Joe's man, which was to be expected. On the day of the robbery, everyone dresses up in disguise and sneaks into the customs office as planned. Chairman Joe sets off the distraction bomb from a distance while Jong hacks into their system, forcing them to do a manual reset. This stops all surveillance cameras and sensors from working for 45 minutes. In this short amount of time, Lee and Koo go to the safe room and just barely open the safe. They only have to stop briefly at a nearby container and trade the coupon for the van. Because they have a lot of money, they have to go on many trips. The police are making their way to the scene. After their last trip, they are about to leave, but Lee stays behind to trick the police. But in reality, he goes to the customs office to change information about Chairman Joe's business. When he finds out about Lee's plan, he goes to the office to stop him. He also tells Lee that Mr. O was killed because he turned down his offer to work for him. Chairman Joe makes Lee take a bomb to the police. Of course, he declines. But Chairman Joe shows him Yoon-ha's necklace, so he can't do anything else. He then drives on purpose toward police in an attempt to get their attention. When he is surrounded, he tries to jump into the water, but he is shot and falls in. Not long after that, the bomb also goes off. They say on the radio that Lee has been killed by police bullets. Koo was shocked when she heard this, but Jong seems happy because it means they will make more money. This makes Koo angry, which makes them fight. During the fight, Jong stabs him and puts him in a shipping container, leaving him to dead. After a few weeks, Chairman Joe is still waiting for the container shipment. When he opens it, he finds food coupons instead of money. Suddenly, our boy Lee calls him and tells him that the police are on their way. But what really went down? What keeps him alive? It turns out that everything he does is part of a plan. Turbo posed as a police officer and shot him with a fake bullet. He also told Jong to act like a traitor right away. When they were fighting, Zhang told Ku he was about to get stabbed and to go along with it. Turbo then helped him get out of the locked box. The police start to look around. In the middle of all the chaos, Chairman Zhou gets away, and Zhang saves Yunha. After things calm down, Ku and Zhang come back in disguise to take the food coupon. Keep in mind that Li tried to make fake money by using ink. It turned out that Turbo and his friends printed coupons over the money so they wouldn't get caught. Because of oxidation, it takes time for the ink to show up. Chairman Zhou thought the money was gone when he opened the container. But the money was always right in front of his eyes. Li rams his car into Chairman Zhou to seal the deal he has made with him. He takes Yunha's necklaces back and turns her over to the police. When they get back to their hideout, they use alcohol to turn the coupon into cash. Li sends Yunha money so that he can keep his promise to give her money to invest. After that, we don't hear from him again for a while. The chapter ends with Yunha leaving for her exhibition show in Abu Dhabi. She can't believe it when she sees her missing jewelry there. She finds her painting after she looks around. Li then slowly comes up behind her. What an amazing story. Any honest con artist will tell you that the simple truth can sometimes work better than the most clever lie. Just as smart as the devil and twice as beautiful. Do you think Li's idea is as good as I do? Write your comments below. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.